Okie dokes. I'm back. 2 sessions in one day, which is awesome. Sometimes we're feeling that, and sometimes that's an option, and so that's great. Little dudes are picked up doing their homework and their whatnots. And so I'm going to do a little more on my ring shoes, which is good because I would like to catch up a little bit. So this is my patina velvet one coat. And then I've got, I won't be able to fit them all here probably, but I've got two, two, four, six pointy toe shoes that we did a coat of Invisible Jet on. And it is dry now. And like I said, it looks kind of chalky, kind of cloudy. That's what Invisible Jet does. It's got that kind of creaminess to it, but you can see through it some. So it kind of, if you combine it with white paint, it looks kind of, I'm not going to get into all the white glitters. That will be here all night, which would be fun in its own way. But let's keep making progress on our April shoes. And I will tomorrow I will get the rings. Well, I will get the jewels to do the rings. I will maybe show you guys how to do the rings this evening. We could get started on that maybe. Let's see how long this takes us and where we're at. All right. Get my brush. Should dry my brush out a little bit because it was in the water. All right. So what I'm going to do is the heels of all of these real quick. Then I'm going to do my shrimps, and then I'm going to come back and do the soles. You guys may hear my little dudes in the background. Such is the nature of the thing, you know? All right. That you can really see the difference between the Invisible Jet when it's dry and when it isn't. Or when the glue is dry. The Invisible Jet is whatever. All right, set that on there. I'm gonna repeat it. 6 times total. 5 more times. Math. Math. So this won't take me very long at all because it's a small surface area. But I'm going to give that a chance to dry out a little bit, and then I'm going to do the soles of the shoe as well. 2. Easy peasy. Smooth brush strokes, even glue, and then Invisible Jet on top of the glue. Boop. All right, 3. All right. Everybody's getting their Invisible Jet, and that is going to make us super duper ready for white paint, which I think I have. Yeah, I've got some white paint. We'll see. That little tube might not be enough for all of my curls, but let's see. Let's see how far one little tube stretches. That's part of the objective of the marathon is to kind of see how much it takes to make bigger batches, because then I can better estimate, what I have, what I need, what I want. All right. 5 out of 6, and this is 6 out of 6. So yeah, the heels don't take very long at all. Inside voice, bud. Buddy, inside voice. I don't know if y'all can hear or not, my little dudes. Ooh. I mostly do videos when they are at school or in bed, but oof, my husband is making dinner, so I had a minute. So a minute of shoe time is, and I would love to catch up a little bit on my April shoes, as I mentioned. Mhm. Heel, Patina Velvet. And this was, I think, like halfway, excuse me, this was like halfway full when we started. So I think it should stretch us. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to be careful not to waste any, but we'll find out. And, we can always get more. And if we have to, if something's out of stock and we have to put it out down for a minute, nature of the thing. We try really hard to keep everything in stock, but we have many, many, many colors of glitter, and they all have different quirks and nuances. All right. So that is the heels on all my rings. So I'm going to give those a second to dry out a little bit while I revisit my shrimps. Because I was starting to do my shrimps at the end of my last one, but it was pickup time. So we had to boogie. I got this for myself and some of my float mates the year that we were on the Taylor Swift float in Muses, because that was like one of the my most favorite floats that I've ever been on. I mean, I haven't been riding that long. Some of the OGs have been riding for quite a while. Muses has been rolling, obviously, 25. I don't know how we count it. Do we count 25? Yeah, I guess 25 years, but technically COVID, I guess, makes the numbers weird. I don't know. I'm not a historian. Don't ask me for stuff. Shrimp. Got to do my obligatory little wiggle. Put that over there. This one I started. I think I want to, some of these I want to break in half so that I have little pieces to fit in. So we're going to do that with her. Just so I have some more kind of topography to work with. Hmm. Beautiful. If I do say so myself. So when I have a little space, I can kind of like, if I have a small space, I can kind of fit a little small guy in there. I might break a couple of these. Yeah, let me do them first and then I can break them apart. Kind of like when we did the pizza toppings, we're going to do the big surface area and then break it down. Break it down. I can feel, because I didn't push the skewer in all the way because I didn't want the crusty bit to shred the packing peanut. I can feel that it's not as secure, which, there are worse problems to have, but it's like, oh, I do notice that. And as I will reiterate, I said it before, but I usually, if you miss a spot, you don't do a touch up over wet glue because it makes your stuff clumpy. But for a fried shrimp that's got a nice little battered fried coat on it, some little lumps and bumps just make it look even more real. So we don't mind a little lumpy bumpy. We don't mind a little extra texture. Okay. But then we'll have all our little shrimpies. We'll fill the po' boy in all the way because it's just got some holes that I'm like, I just feel like this doesn't look quite as full as I want it to. That's even when I give y'all kind of my step-by-step instructions, my like, this is what I would do first, and this is I'm describing what step-by-step instructions are. Y'all know. Even when I give you step-by-step instructions or like kind of an overview or like guidelines, guidance, you're never really sure exactly how it's going to go. You still have to kind of have some flexibility and some capacity to wing it and to make revisions. And that's very much part of the experience of making art. Mhm. Hi. Oop, burp. Mm. Obligatory twirly. Goodbye, shrimp. All right. Just doing like half a dozen, so not a tremendous amount of shrimpery. Yeah, we may want to do the rings. We'll see. I feel like every time I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this. We like get through maybe some of the first thing on my list. But we stay optimistic. The important thing for me in terms of my workflow is kind of knowing what's next, like what's in the pipeline. Once I've decided what everything is going to be and like what colors I'm going to use and stuff, then I can just cruise. And that's why if I remake a shoe, it's very different. Once I've already decided, oh, I'm going to use this font and I'm going to use this color glitter and I'm going to combine this confetti with it and this is how I want to trim it and this is the how I'm going to arrange the bow or the feathers or whatever. Once I've made all those design choices, the actual execution is a lot easier for me. And I've heard from people who are like, I know how to make shoes. I just feel like I don't come up with the ideas. So I think for a lot of us, the sort of one of the most challenging pieces is like, how do I actually design it? I've got this sort of overall vision in my head, but it isn't quite the same as blueprints from the dream to the reality. All righty. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So 6, and then those two little half pieces that I broke apart. Hmm. And I'm getting pretty low on my fish fry, so the amount I mixed, if you go back and look, the amount I mixed is probably a good amount for two po' boys. But I'm not, it's not like I'm gonna throw it out. I will save my fish fry and who knows what I'm gonna use it for. Maybe more po' boys. Who knows? So I do want to letter my girls. Do I want to do that today? Probably not. It's probably not a lettering day. Let's see where we're at. I think maybe we can take some rings apart. So at Craft Culture, we do sell a kit, and the kit is like the giant ring kit, and it comes with the big jewels that we put into. It comes with two of those, and I'll show y'all how we do that. It comes with two. Well, I wonder where. I wonder if I could find it. I'll find it for next time, or I'll buy a fresh one so that I can show you exactly what it looks like. But since we have a moment of peace and calm and quiet, we can work on our rings a little bit. So we do sell it in a kit, and the kit comes with the ring that has the. Let me grab for y'all. It's here somewhere. Ah, right. But if you're making a bunch of these, as I am, I go to Plush Appeal. We love Plush Appeal. And I get myself a dozen of these. And they come in different colors. And this is what I use for the big rings on my shoes. And I don't think I'm not gatekeeping that. If you want, a bunch of them and you are willing to do the work of taking them apart, more power to you. You could honestly, if you weren't wanting to do the jewel, the way I find that this stone that they have in there is just not as pretty. Not it's I find it just a little chintzy, which is, fine. They're no they are under no obligation to like please me. And the price is great. Pleasure Peel always has great prices. All right, one, two, three, four. So I'm just taking these off the beads right now. So at Craft Culture, you will have the setting for the ring, some white satin ribbon in case you're doing the jewelry box, 4, 6, and the two big nice AB stones. And I will show you all those next time. I know I have some in my stash because I do this shoe design a lot, so I buy a lot of those. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. All right, we should be good. Let me go ahead and take all the rest of them off so I can throw the beads out. Um, so the kit makes it really easy. You don't have to take the ring apart. The jewels are already in there, easy peasy. We do sell the jewels a la carte. And again, this would be easier if I could show y'all, and I promise I will. So just bear with me. If you would be so kind, just bear with me. All right, so we took all the rings ah, off of the beads. That's trash now, or I don't know, that's whatever now. I don't know what you do with your beads. Plenty of people make bead art, and I love that. Okay, but what we're gonna do now is take the stone off of the ring very carefully with a blade. So if you are doing this, please be so, so, so careful, because if you hurt yourself, it's going to slow down your glittering enormously. So please be very, very careful. I am a professional and I've done this a few times. All right, I took my blade and loosened it up, and I gently, gently kind of rock the stone out. And that's going to be my setting that I'm going to put a much nicer rock in. I just think these are they're not bad. And if you wanted to take that and just, put that into your white you absolutely could. And I think, you know, just be aware of what your options are. I like to upgrade it a little bit. I like to put a nicer stone in there because it's kind of the focal point of the shoe. It's kind of like the shoe is the ring box and the ring is like, look at me. And so I like to do it nice. They're big acrylic rhinestones, and that's what we put in them. All right. And we buy them special at Craft Culture, these nice big stones that fit perfectly into these rings. So that's two. But yeah, the rings as they are cute, but I would zhuzh them up a bit personally. Maybe if you are budget conscious and not wanting to do all your rings that way, I don't think I have to look at what the price is on the rhinestones. Um, to me, that is money well spent. But if you're trying to be economical, maybe you can do some of them with the rings just as they are, as they come off the bead, and some of them with the nice stones. Or like if you're doing one as a gift, go ahead and for if you have like someone is getting married that you know, or someone got engaged or something like that, maybe maybe do the step up for them. Wow. But the ones that you're throwing, that's slightly different. So another thing that we do is the ones that come out of the case. This one, I that one's got too wide of a crack in it. I don't like the way that looks. So I'm gonna keep the ones that are nice, and I'm not gonna use the cracked ones. So another thing you get out of the Craft Culture kit is we've already done that. We've already triaged. So if it's got a big old divide in it, we're not gonna sell it to you. But if it's a nice clean setting and it isn't warped and it isn't bent and it isn't weird, that is going to go in the kit. But basically the kit is me doing this lovingly, carefully with all my fingers, taking the rock out carefully, carefully. But I also want y'all to be aware, like I'm not trying to gatekeep stuff. I think the more people are comfortable making stuff and learning stuff and swapping tips, I think that's better. I think we compete, we don't collaborate. I mean, we collaborate, we don't compete. We are a community, we are an ecosystem, and we all impact each other, so we should be mindful of how we impact each other. That is my thought. And that sounds big considering I'm talking about glitter, but I believe that. I believe that we all are connected in the glitter ecosystem. That's a nice one. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I chucked the one that was a little warped, but that's okay because I've got a dozen of them, and I'll probably go ahead and pop the. So if y'all can see, what I'm doing is I'm wedging the blade between the stone and the setting, the little claws. Mm, oof. Yeah, these I don't really use them for anything. I just find them, like I said, a little chintzy. But it is a carnival throw, and you are giving them as gifts to people who came to the parade. So do not beat yourself up. Do not feel like everything you need to do needs to be extremely expensive or extremely laborious. You can decide for yourself what kind of thing you're trying to do with your own art. I'm just telling you that me, myself, personally, I will put the nice stones in all of these. And I'll show y'all what the nice stones look like next time. But I kind of jumped in. I was like, I want to hit the ground running on these rings. And so I was so ready to like jump into it that I didn't get the stones. That comes later. The stones is honestly one of the last steps. That's pretty warped. So warped one is going to get 86th. All right. You are also a little warped, but I'm going to wait and see how I feel about it once your stone is popped out. So be really careful because anytime you're doing something where the blade is moving towards you, it's like when you're shucking oysters and you're putting a blade, the angle is like, it's very easy to get that angle wrong and stab yourself in the hand. So just be careful, my loves. I cannot have anything happen to any of you. Okie doke. You're a little warped, but you're okay. I'm gonna set you aside as a B string. So what I will do with these is I mix together Cafe au lait, which is a nice kind of antique gold, and DEA badge silver, and I find that makes a nice platinum. But I think probably for my Tiffany shoes, I'll do a silver setting on the ring, and I'll do this kind of white gold color for. I could also do a mix. I could mix and match. I've been saying over and over again, part of the fun is to see what you like. So maybe I'll do that. But anyway, I think our girls are probably. I can show you the first one of these just so you know, in case you're like gung ho to like jump into it tomorrow. I hold it by the thing, the little claw, and I glitter the whole ring. And they've got these sort of beautiful lady anatomies on them, which we love that. You know, I'm all about that. All right. Maybe not all about that, but I'm about that. And as always, we're going to do two coats. As always, we're going to do two coats, so I'm not super stressed. I'll get in every little nook and cranny. Yeah, maybe I'll do some with cafe. I think I'll do a mix. I'll do a mix. This is gonna be one of our moments of kind of fun exploration and discovery. We'll see which combo we like. I tend to like the mix of the silver. It's about 50-50 DEA badge silver, which is our sterling silver, and cafe au lait. So now that's glittery, because I like it glittery. I like it dropped also. I don't like it dropped, but I do be dropping. All right. So the others, my other girls, are these? No, I can't get them over my wrist. That's an injury waiting to happen. So my other girls, I'll get next time, or in the future. because I think I'm ready to do the soles of my rings. And then that will be the first coat entirely done on all 8 of those, which, like, yeah, let's do that. Okie dokie. So the heel is still slightly wet. You can tell that it's still a little cloudy, so I'm not going to hold it by the heel, but it's dry enough that I can do that while it dries. The heel is dry enough that I can lay it on its side and the heel isn't going to stick. So we're going to do the sole. The bottom of the shoe on all 8 shoes. And then the white ones are ready for paint. So I'll be painting 6 of these. We'll see. I don't think my little 2-ounce bottle is going to make it all the way, but I'll see if I have any others. It's good. When I organize, I find if I organize while I have a plan, then I tend to be a little bit better at finding the things that I'm going to need. That works for me. All right. Glittered. This is dry, this is dry, this is a little wet, and this is fresh wet. But it can sit like that because I let the heel dry enough. Lather, rinse, and repeat. It's definitely pretty wet there. But, dry enough to work with it. You'll find if a heel isn't dry and you try to grip by the heel, it's sort of like you can feel it like not peeling off exactly, but you can feel the glue kind of like getting scrunched in your hand and the glitter kind of coming off a little bit. It's hard to describe. The feeling of grabbing a heel that is not dry is not a fun feeling. I mean, grabbing anything that's not dry is not a fun feeling. But I think because I'm gripping the heel kind of intensely, it sort of feels bleh. 2, 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. It would have been cute to do silver on the. I might actually do that. We might actually do that. That's okay. That's okay. Nobody's got a crystal ball. Nobody's got a map from A to B. We're all figuring it out as we go. But what I am realizing is that on these shoes that are going to be Tiffany blue, that are going to be Robin's egg blue for my jewelry box shoes, I think I want the heel, this little like micro platform, and the bottom of the shoe. I think I want that to be silver. I think that would be pretty. But maybe I'll do it in white. Like the box is the font is. Maybe I'll spend a little time with Pinterest. Maybe Pinterest and I will vibe a little this evening and I'll kind of see what sort of color scheme evokes what I'm going for. But she's ready either way, so no harm in being prepared. Worst case scenario, I did a little extra work that I didn't technically need to do, but I will survive that. Just doing the heels. 4 out of 6. Technically 4 out of 8 because we're going to do the patina. I'll be damned. Our little jar of invisible jet might make it all the way. You just never know. What I do have is some Tiffany blue paint, is some Robin's egg blue paint. So maybe I'll see if I can get 4. I don't think I can even get 4 out of that little tube because she's not full. But let's find out. Let's find out. No law says we can't find out. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are so fun to put together. The wedding shoes, I've got a little stash of like all my little white flowers and pretty white trim. Though our white trim manufacturer does not make the white trim anymore. So that'll be fun. We'll figure out a little plan B. I do have a good amount of the silver metallic gimp rolls still at Craft Culture. There are a few colors that we still have a decent amount of, and I would kind of get some of those the next time you're in, kind of look and see if any of the colors grab you, because those are such nice quality and such a good deal. And it's very sad that they don't make them. We'll find other stuff, we'll replace it. Just man, it has felt like a lot of our things, we get comfortable, we get a vendor we like, and then we have to regroup and figure it out all over again. And we're scrappy. We do it, but like, oof, it would sure be nice if we had some consistency. Mm. So I don't have that white gimp, so I'm gonna have to look into other white gimp options. We have white gimp by the yard at Craft Culture. It's a little heavy, but it might work. But I'll play around. I'll see what we got. I could do silver on the Tiff. I will do silver on the Tiffany, probably. I don't know. That was that thing I was talking about where I'm gonna vibe with Pinterest a little bit and see what color scheme speaks to me. My sense is that with the robin's egg blue, I'm gonna want to do either silver or white. And I can do, I'm doing several, so I can do some of each and see what moves me. Bruh. All right, that is all my, I still have a tiny little baby bit of invisible jet. So, all right, that little jar stayed strong to the bitter end. Nuts. I accidentally smacked one of my little shrimps. That's all right. I wiped a little piece off of my shrimp. I'm sorry, Shrimpy. I'm so sorry. Hmm. Fixed. He's fine. All's well that ends well. All right. One coat of Tina Velvet looking pretty good. Once I get to two, she's going to be velvety gorgeous. Going to be a little vintage velvet box. A beautiful little vintage velvet ring box with a beautiful ring in it. That is just classic and timeless. Everybody's happy to have a little ring box shoe. Maybe not everybody, but on the route, it's good to have shoes that you can throw to anybody. You know, sometimes I do some fun themed stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool, you know, Jane Austen beekeeper shoe or something. I've never done a Jane Austen beekeeper shoe. I don't know why that was the example that came into my head, but y'all know what I mean. You sometimes make a really specific shoe and you kind of spend the whole parade looking for the right person for it. And sometimes you get lucky and that's magical. And you see like the exact sign that is like, you know, oh, that's the person for this shoe. And you give it to them and it's magical. But sometimes you kind of spend the parade going, oh, shoot, I'm not sure who this would be right for. Who's going to like this? And it's important to please yourself. So if you have a theme that you're into, that's really important. But also, it is nice to have shoes that you can throw to basically anyone. I love that about a purple, green, and gold shoe. Nobody is mad about a purple, green, and gold shoe. It's fun to like I do LSU shoes and Tulane shoes, and I kind of look for somebody wearing the shirt. You know, that's fun. It sort of turns the experience into like a little bit of an I spy. And I saw the complaint online. Someone was like, the muses are just scanning the crowd looking for their friends. That's not what I'm doing. I am looking for, I want the moment to be as magical as possible. I want to find the person who, sometimes I'm just throwing shoes and I'm just making eye contact and vibing with people and throwing shoes. And if you've got good energy and you're enjoying yourself or you're dressed cool or I like your sign, then I'll shoe you. But sometimes I like have a shoe in my hands and I'm like, I want this to go to the right person. I want to make this magic moment. And unfortunately, you cannot make the magic moment happen on everybody's schedule. So when I am scanning the crowd, it's usually because just out of reach where you can't see, because I don't want to hold the shoe up and have people lose it and get stressed about it. I never, never, never taunt with a shoe. That to me is like, that's sacred. I never taunt. I never hold a shoe up that I'm not already in motion giving it to someone because I think that is uncool. Um And usually I'm like, no shade, whatever you do. I think if you taunt with shoes, I don't think that's good carnival etiquette. Um, and I know we see people like with the big beads, like pretending they're going to throw the big beads, and they pretend they're going to throw the big beads for like 85% of the route, and that's fun for them, and that's whatever. But to me, I don't know, maybe I'm contradicting myself because I'm like, I get it when it's like a big thing of shoes or like a big plush or something, but not when it's not a big thing of shoes, a big thing, a big strand of beads or like a big plush or whatever. I get it, but not when it's a shoe. So maybe I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite there. But I never taunt with the shoes. So usually I've got a particular shoe in my hands. I've got like a wine shoe or like a cheese board shoe or like, something, or an LSU shoe or a Tulane shoe. I've got it and I've got it low so that I'm not holding it up and stressing people out. I've got it low and I'm looking, who is this for? Whose soul is calling out for this shoe? And that to me is very special and very magical. But it does mean that sometimes, you know, we are not filling orders on a schedule. We are making magic happen in the moment. And if you do not vibe with that, you certainly do not have to, but I would encourage you not to come to the parade. I would gently encourage you to consider, I don't know, not coming. That's a little harsh. I know everybody wants to catch a shoe, and I respect that and I love that, and that's what makes the night so magical. But all right, so this is not part of the marathon, but my glue cup is almost done. So I'm making a little basket shoe. She's got glitter on top of the straw braiding so that she looks like a little white basket. And then she's Impossible Things, which is our semi-sheer sort of like Cinderella blue. And then she's got a little gingham. And I'm gonna actually fill her with berries, and I'll talk about this at another point in time because I need to give credit to the artist who actually did the berry basket that I'm pretty shamelessly copying, but I want to do this so that I can put it together in a later video. And I'm almost at the bottom of this cup of glue. One last little whisper. I get a little nuts. But I want to put my dark green, and I'll show y'all. This isn't part of the shoe marathon, at least I don't think so, because the shoes are kind of niche, but I do want to show y'all because I was very inspired by it, and so maybe you will be also. My friend, my very dear friend Caitlin, who lives in California, every year makes some Muses shoes and sends them. And she has not been to March. She doesn't ride in Muses. She doesn't throw shoes. She has never been to New Orleans. So she sort of understands the culture sort of in the theoretical. And she and sometimes some friends make shoes every year. And she does beautiful, beautiful work. And it's such a fun. I've known Caitlin a very long time. I've known her since college, and she was and is a very important friend to me. So I am always delighted to have the connection through glitter. Um, but she does extremely beautiful work. And they go to different places. Some years they go to like the honorary muse throws them. They go different places different years. There's always shoe mouths to feed, as I always say. But they always get loving homes, and they always get very oohed and awed over, as they should. But this year she made some little berry baskets. The cutest ones she does are the little kid shoes that her daughter outgrows. She makes really cute, precious little kid shoes. She did like a Wonder Woman shoe that was so cute. She did some like Irish dance shoes that were really amazing. She does really cool stuff. She's a cool human being and she makes cool art. And I nothing but love. Um, but she had these shoes that had like a little straw on them, little straw sandals, and she made them into these berry baskets, and they are so flippin' adorable. I can't even tell y'all how cute they are. I am going to show y'all what they look like. Not right now because they're at Craft Culture. I could not part with them. There are three of them, and I'm going to give them to my nieces because that's my prerogative. But we were so in love with them, and me and a good friend were out thrifting, horseshoes, as we do, as we must at this time of year, as always. And we saw on the shelf like 8 pairs of shoes that had that like straw in them, big, big, cute sandals made of like this braided straw. And we were like, we should have a little berry basket party. And so we did. It was very fun. Just a couple of us, I would say girls, but it was a mix because not everyone did shoes. We had like an Orpheus tambourine fella in there and whatnot. But we just got together and made all these cute little country baskets of cuteness. And so I am experimenting. I put like a translucent glitter on top of the straw so that the straw would still show because I really love that. Um, but I want to play with it. I want to try different versions. I've got a couple of leftover straw shoes because we got a couple extra. That way, when people show up, they can kind of, you don't want someone to show up late and be like, oh, this is the only one left. And sometimes that happens if it's a really busy workshop. And I never put bad stuff out, but I also like people to feel like they have a little bit of say in the silhouette. Um, so we had some extra straw shoes. So I'm gonna mess with those. I'm gonna do some berry baskets. I'm not sure if that's gonna be part of my marathon or extracurricular or what. My business partner, Lizette, suggested that I do like a mossy green on the bottom, and I love that. It's very cute. So I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna drop it. Okay, she's all right. She's all right. She's all right. My bow got a little scrunched, but that's okay because it's got wire in it and you can reshape it. This is the blue gingham that I got to do those chicken shoes that I posted for 2026. I had chicken shoe requests from a chicken loving muse. All right, so the forest green on there, but it looks to me like a little white straw basket. I put some of my powder blue trim, the same that I used on the wave velvet. And then just this really cute little gingham bow. And then I'm gonna fill this with berries, like it's a precious little strawberry basket, just at the cutest little berry patch in the country. And I think that's gonna be very, very cute. So if y'all are curious, I made my and this is completely ripped off from Caitlin. This is not an original idea that I have had. I saw what she did and I loved it and it inspired me. And as muses, we inspire each other. And I think that's very beautiful. So I made a bunch of blueberries. When I am recoloring foam balls, so this is just foam balls, like I fill my bathtubs, like I use for whatever. So I did foam balls, and that is Blue Jay, Killer Blueberry Pie, and maybe the 1 millimeter Killer Blueberry. There's some 1 millimeter confetti in there. So I made just a bunch of little blueberries, all different sizes. And then